Hello everybody, this is Mr. SAT, and guess what? Today is the day where we're really gonna get things started. What do I mean by that? Well, today is the day where I'm gonna start taking you through an entire SAT practice test. I'm gonna be posting one 5-minute video explanation for each and every question on an SAT test. We will be using practice test 1 out of this book. This is the Princeton Review 2021 Test Prep. You can get this online or at your local bookstore, but you won't need to because I'm gonna give you everything you need right here on this fancy schmancy high-tech prop board behind me. Now here's how it's gonna work. I'm gonna post 2 videos a week. I'm gonna alternate between a math question and explanation and a reading, writing, language question and explanation. I'll post them on Wednesdays and on Sundays, and I'll post them in the morning, in the early morning. So the early or mid-morning, actually any time in the morning. Look for these videos to drop on Wednesdays and Sundays in the mid, early, or late morning. But now that I'm saying this, I can also post them in the late afternoon. Actually, the early to mid-late afternoon. So look for these in the early, mid, or late morning, and the early, mid, late afternoon, and I can post these in the evening. So look for these in the late evening. So look for these videos in the early, mid, late morning, the early, mid afternoon, or the late, early evenings, but never at dusk. I will never post these at dusk. That's an old Steve Martin joke from Let's Get Small that I butchered. You can see the real deal here on YouTube. Go search for it. But anyway, that's the way it's going to work. All right, we better get started because the clock's a-ticking. So for this SAT math section, you get 25 minutes to solve 20 questions. That works out to 1 minute and 15 seconds per question. That being said, here's something you need to know. On a math SAT section, the questions are arranged in relative order of difficulty. The first third of the questions are relatively easy. The final third of the questions are the harder questions of that section, and the ones in the middle are the medium difficulty. So, for the first question up on an SAT math test, you would not want to use the full 1 minute and 15 seconds if you're trying to pace yourself. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put this up full screen. I want you to pause the video. Try to solve this in 45 seconds or less. Click back on. We'll see how you did. All right, ready, go. All right, welcome back. How'd you do? Let's find out. Now, the first thing I want to point out is this. In this SAT math question, there are variables or letters, right? Now, you may have seen my very first video, and if you haven't, that's okay, but I have a strategy which I call CAN, C-A-N, create a number. And that's a strategy where instead of working with vague variables, we're going to substitute real numbers for the variables and work with real numbers. If you want to hear more about that, go check out my very first video. That being said, we're only going to use that strategy when it makes things easier for us. And the thing about the first question up in an SAT math test is there's not going to be any tricks. Almost always you can just solve that one straightforward. So for this particular question, we're just going to use algebra to solve this. So the only thing algebraically to do in this question is to distribute the 2. It's a pretty simple algebraic expression. So let's just rewrite it and distribute the 2 as 10 plus 2 times x is 2x. And then plus 2 times minus 7, which is negative 14, so minus 14. Now what we're going to do is just combine like terms, and the only like terms here are the 2 numbers. Let's combine them. 10 minus 14 is minus 4, plus 2x. Now this can also be written as 2x minus 4. So either of these will be correct. Can we find any of those in the answer? Let's look. And bingo, D, it's right there. 2x minus 4, 2x minus 4. And the answer is D. It really is just that simple. Now listen, if you have any questions about simple algebra, about this problem in particular, about the SATs at all, feel free to email me right here at rich.animals@gmail.com. Love for you to like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. There's lots more videos coming up. The next one's going to be out of practice test 1, section 1, question 1 of the reading test. I'm going to drop that on Sunday. Look for it anytime, just not at dusk. This is Mr. SAT. See you soon.